Just a quick disclaimer, this is an educational video. If your deck isn't on this list, it doesn't mean it's bad, and these are strictly my opinions, and what I say isn't gospel. Anyway, let's get into the video. So what are the top 5 meta decks that you will see at BSF in the future and the current format? Well, first we have Regiregnis. Second, we have Lyle Animus. The third that you will see is Heartluru. The fourth that you will see a lot will be Alfred. And then lastly, we will have Dragonic Overlord. So first up we have Deeplands Regiregnis. So why Deeplands Regiregnis? Well, this deck is really strong for a few reasons, which is why you'll see it around in the current format. So first of all, it generates 6 attacks, with 2 of them being Vanguard attacks. Secondly, it builds a board with Regiregnis, the Call of Deeplands Order, and Ursip Dragon. Thirdly, it deck bends quite a bit, so it's easier to hit triggers on your 2 Vanguard attacks, and it hits massive numbers on turn 4 onwards, sometimes killing your opponent on turn 4. Next up, we have Lyle Animus. So why should you be preparing for Lyle Animus in this format? Well, first of all, it has a very powerful Divine turn, in which in some cases it will kill you on that turn. Secondly, it generates a lower advantage to ensure that it always reaches a Divine turn and onwards. It has very strong power scaling thanks to its regress gauge. And then lastly, the new form provides a good follow-up turn after your Divine turn, which is absolutely insane. Next up, we have Heartluru. So why to this day are we still seeing Heartluru as one of the top 5s? Well, first of all, it deck thins a lot. Your bunnies deck thinning the same as your happy toys, so you get into triggers much faster, to eventually the OT. Next, the deck recycles and builds boards with ease. Your happy toys, when they're guarded with, they go into the soul. You have your Toys Are Made for Children, which allow to put cards back from your drop into your soul. Then you have Heartluru calling your happy toys out. So essentially, you're always building a board and recycling your board without having to use anything in your hand. So it's a really strong skill. And then another great thing about this deck is that because it isn't using much cards from hand, it has really great hand advantage. With Heartluru's triple drive on top, and with one of your toys being able to draw cards too, and your Toys Are Made for Children giving you advantage overall as well, the deck is always making good advantage and it's always able to grind out that game, so we can get to a point where the deck spends so much on hit triggers, which in turn hits big numbers with up to 5 attacks with offensive pressuring effects. You have a Regard with a crit and another Regard that has a guard con. Next up, we have King of Knights Alfred. Now, as you know, this deck is probably one of the best decks in the format, but why? So first of all, it deck thins quite a bit thanks to Alfred's skill as well as Gancelot. Then secondly, it generates a very strong grade 3 and grade 4 turn. In grade 3 turn, Alfred began to call 2 cards out, and then with your Gancelot essentially gaining a lot of power and crit as long as you have a Blastbladed Soul. So it makes some really strong numbers. Then on your Soul Saver turn, you're swinging with 5 attacks, but your 5 attacks also come with a Guard Con from your Starry Night grade 2, as well as the crit from Gancelot. The next, you have great card advantage. You've got Gordon, you've got your Gancelot, you've got your Surgowns, you've got your Nebula Light Orders, you have your triple drive from your Alfred. You have so much card advantage, it is crazy. And it is one of the decks that can actually still perform well going second, because some of the cards are restricted to being grade 3, so being able to unlock them going second is really strong. Then lastly, we have Dragonic Overlord. So why should you be preparing for Dragonic Overlord? Well, first of all, this deck has a really strong early game. And this early game helps transition into a really strong grade 3 turn with Dragonic Overlord, being able to swing twice with your Vanguard and potentially hit triggers. Next, it has a crazy turn 4. You have an option of either double Persona Riding with your Overlord, Or you can also go with 5 attacks of Vortex Dragon and retire the opponent's front row. Next, it has really good hand advantage with stuff like Bellicosity Dragon and Berserk Dragon. Being able to draw a lot of cards is really good. And then lastly, it has really good utility. If it's CB denied, it has the talent to give reduce your Vanguard's counterblast by 1. It has a lot of really easy discards in this deck. Some of them actually do recur themselves when discarded. If you miss Persona Ride, you have your Scarlet Flame Order that can give your Vanguard a Persona Ride as well on top. And it has a lot of really good spot removal. So after talking about these 5 decks, what decks actually have a good chance in this matter? Well, your deck has to fit in one of 3 criterias. It has to either have an explosive Grave Return or Game Ending and Turf War going first. It has to play decently well going second, or it has to generate an early game that transitions into a solid Grave Return. So an example of decks that have explosive turn 3 or Game Ending in turn 4 are Wellstruck, Prison, Leonore, or Youthberg. An example of decks that play decently well going second are Minerva, Light Rose, Zorga, or Beth Sagara. Some examples of decks that create an early game that transitions into a solid Grave Return are Magnolia Phantom, Heroes, Stashian, and Magnolia. And now we've come to an end. But what are your thoughts on this video? Are there things that you believe I could have done better, or that were really good? Feel free to leave them in the comments down below.